Hey guys, back for one more video. This is the last you'll see of me tonight, but I am going to be doing my monthly recommendations for the month of September, and I'm doing it in a good amount of time. It's not even halfway through the month yet. It's early, so I'm doing good. I'm trying. I'm really trying. So the theme for this month is science fiction, and I love science fiction. I love movies with science fiction. I think time travel is great, aliens are great, space is great, just everything in science fiction is great, and it's all so good. So I've got 5 books to recommend you guys, so I hope you want to read them. You've probably read most of them because they're all popular books, but I still want to recommend these ones because they're like my favourites. So the first book I'd like to recommend is the Luck series by Jennifer Armentrout, and even though this might not be your very heavily science fiction, it is about aliens. It's aliens. Aliens are science fiction, it works. So this book is about a girl named Katie, and she moves into a new town, and she's very sort of scared to be going to a new town because she's always lived in the one area, and having to move and have to make friends, find a new location, find out a way her life is going to work was very hard for her. And then she meets this guy named Damon, and there's something off about him, and she's trying to figure it out, and it's a lot of tension of her trying to figure out that he actually is an alien. And that is something that you know going into the book. It generally happens when you know. That's another weird thing like with books, is like they always tell you that the person's an alien, or they're a vampire, or they're a werewolf, or they're a witch, and it's just you reading until the character actually figures it out. It'd be cool if we had a book where you're just reading it and it's like you find out at the same time the character does that there's something iffy going on here, you know? That would just be amazing. Total side note in the middle of this video, but anyway, sorry about that. I definitely do think the Luck series is a great alien novel, and you'd all enjoy it, and you should read it. The book I'd like to recommend is The Next Together by Lauren James, and I know some people would probably say this isn't a science fiction novel, but with the way it's set up, with having like little notes, and it just has like timeline, it's like, I feel like it's like a sort of time travel book, because this book's about 2 people who keep falling in love, but every time they get close enough to be together, they seem to die and they get reincarnated. So it's about reincarnation, but it also feels like it's very scientifically involved for me, and as I read the book, it definitely felt that way. I don't want to really spoil, I'm not really trying to spoil things here, but with Catherine and Matthew, the main characters, they're always falling in love, and then they get drawn apart, and every time they get close, and sometimes they'll be married for years and stuff happens, and then they, it's just a really great book. Trying to talk about this without saying too much, if you know what I mean, but if you trust me, you should all trust me, you should read this book. It was amazing, and the sequel's actually coming out soon, The Last Beginning. So down for it, so down, and everything was great in this book. The only problem with the book though is I was a bit confused at the end. Just some things didn't really add up for me, so I'm hoping in the next book when I read that it does get added up, but definitely I really enjoyed this, and I think it's a great science fiction novel. Even though it might not have all the main elements of science fiction, I think it works. The next book I'd like to recommend is Cinder by Marissa Meyer, and this story is a retelling of Cinderella, where Cinderella is a cyborg. Cyborgs, what can you get any more science fiction-y than that? I know there is people in this book with like X-Men powers, and it's really, but it's definitely science fiction-y in the sense, and there's spaceships and they go into space and there's stuff happening on the moon. That's where Luna is, but this wasn't one of my favourite reads. I feel like me and felt like the first book wasn't really doing it for you. Just keep going to at least till Scarlet. Just give Scarlet a go, because I guarantee, I hope so, they just, for me, they just got better and better and better, and I'm thinking Winter is just going to blow my freaking mind, because it's going to be amazing. But I definitely think this is a great science fiction and a good take on the Cinderella story, so I definitely recommend this. And the next book I'd like to recommend is Illuminate, and this is by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Boom, didn't look, I'm getting there. This book has taken me forever to get into what the authors are, because there's 2 and I always forget their names. That's really bad. This is such a unique book with the sense of how it's written. Like, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Seriously, just a page of people's faces. Like, what is that? It's a very quick read for a 600-page book. A lot of this is just very easy, scriptive stuff to just go over and read, but I generally liked this book, and this is a very good science fiction novel because it's set in space. This book is about 2 corporal companies that are fighting over the same planet, and on this planet there is people living there illegally, and that is where the 2 main characters, Katie and Ezra, live. And one day this planet gets bombed and they have to try and evacuate, and then they get separated onto 2 different ships. And what's something funny with Ezra and Katie is that the day that they were attacked, they broke up. that is a really good tension to have. They were already dating and then they got broken up and they've been sent to two different ships and they don't know what's happening. Katie, she is like a hacker, so she is really good at finding out information, of course, but she's on her ship. She's finding some really shady stuff happening, and there's a lot of people living on her ship, and she starts to get worried that some bad things are going to happen, and it's just about how she survives, how Ezra survives, how big dramas just get exploded in this series. And it's a very good space novel, and I loved it so much. And guys, read it if you haven't already, because Gemini comes out next month and I'm so excited because I'm getting the YA Chronicles subscription box for Gemini, and I'm just like, oh, yes. And the last book I'd like to recommend is Earth and Sky by Megan Crew. I recently read this like last month. I've had this sitting on my shelf for ages and I've just been wanting to read it, and I finally got to it, and it's actually such a good science fiction novel. This book is about aliens as well, because aliens are just everything. They're great. I really like this story. It's got time travel elements in it as well, which is really cool. They have a way to travel to different like time periods and to do different things and to change the history as we know it. And the main character Skylar, she's so great, and Wynn, he's just amazing, and just all the characters in this are just amazing, and I love it. I love it. And what's funny is I actually thought this book was a standalone at first, and when I was getting to like the last 10 pages, I'm like, it's not ending. How is this gonna end? Because everything bad is happening right now and it's not like concluding. And then I found out it was a trilogy, and I was just like, oh, okay, I gotta buy more books then, do I? So this one I want to finish, but I don't think it'll be for a while, because with my Project 5 I can't really buy books at the moment, but I'm trying. I'm trying to read more so I can buy more, which doesn't really make sense, but I'm trying. So these are all the books I'd like to recommend. They are all amazing science fiction novels. They're amazing. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Bye!